Hi, my name is Chris Robinson, the Director of Leadership and Development with Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido. I'm excited to be here with today with Grandmaster Rhoades, who is President of Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido, as well as the U.S. Director for the Hapkido Federation. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of question and answer, as well as talk about some facts and myths of Hapkido. So let's go ahead and get started here with our very first question. So tell me a little bit about Hapkido. Who founded Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to set some questions and answers straight. There's a lot of myths throughout the world. So first I want to say Grandmaster Kim Myung Yong is the founder of Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido. He established Jin Jung Kwan in 1967 in South Korea.
Now our next myth here is that, the name Jin Jung Kwan. There's a myth out there that when Grandmaster Kim came over, he gave that or left that name in South Korea to family members or friends. Talk to me about that as well.
Yes, that's interesting because depending on who you ask is depending on the versions being told. It is true, in fact, when Grandmaster Kim left Korea, he left his student of 4 schools to oversee, to take care of while he came here. Grandmaster Kim did not leave the name Jin Jung Kwan. He has never had any other president of Jin Jung Kwan until last year, 2019, when he retired.
So tell me a little bit about the relationship between Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido and the Hapkido Federation and how that came about.
Yes, so originally the Jin Jung Kwan family as a whole belonged as a member of the Korea Hapkido Federation. And still currently today, the Korea Hapkido Federation is the largest organization recognized by the Korean government to regulate the certification process of black belts throughout the world for Hapkido. Jin Jung Kwan is a style of over 40 different styles of Hapkido, or family names if you will, Kwans. Jin Jung Kwan was always a member. It was about 2004 when Grandmaster Kim's student at the time, his top student, decided to actually break away from the Korea Hapkido Federation and start his own organization. Unfortunately, that organization is still going today and directly competing with the Korea Hapkido Federation. That being said, Grandmaster Kim and I returned as 2012 when the division of Jin Jung Kwan as we know it as a family, we'll go into that a little bit later, but about 2014, Grandmaster Kim and I returned back to Korea to return and reunite the Korea Hapkido Federation with Jin Jung Kwan as a family. So.
Absolutely, great time. All right. So you mentioned a little bit of a split between the family names and the federation. So talk to me about the split. And I know that occurred somewhere around the 2011 and 12 mark. But talk to me about what happened there.
Yeah, so without going into great detail, basically there was a seminar hosted by a Jin Jung Kwan family member in Canada in 2012. And it was at that point where Grandmaster Kim had realized, and it really became to surface, the amount of deceit and some financial dishonesties, if you will, that was taking place in the organization. At that point, him and his student had severed relationships. A lot of folks would like to say that the USA, Hapkido USA, was then just over the USA, when the actuality was it was just my business name, Hapkido USA. So upon Grandmaster Kim's return from Canada is where I was blessed and honored with the appointment of Vice President of Jin Jung Kwan, also promoted to my 8th degree black belt directly with Grandmaster Kim, and the most prestigious for me is signing my Korean name, Kim Tae-hoon.
So, when we look at the logos that we have, behind us here and, on the flags and throughout everything that you'll see for Jin Jung Kwan, tell me a little bit about the seal, what it represents, and about the copywriting process that you went through, in the 2012 period.
Mm-hmm. So, after the appointment of Vice President Jin Jung Kwan, the very first thing I wanted to do is make sure that we protected the integrity of the system. No part of any of the franchising process was it about money. It was strictly to protect the integrity of the art, the system, and make sure that Grandmaster Kim's wishes moving forward was to maintain the integrity of realistic self-defense, not demonstration. So in 2012, with Grandmaster Kim's blessing, participation, and support, we did in fact have a trademark throughout the United States. It was in 2015, I believe, that others, without Grandmaster Kim's permission, and as Vice President, without my knowledge, had trademarked in other countries to include Europe. And those are absolutely not legit. They were not approved. They were never approved, and to the best of my knowledge, they weren't even asked for permission.
So we talked about the trademarking, the copyright of the name Jin Jung Kwan, and now the Hapkido Federation comes into play with that. Could you talk to me about, again, the merging of the families and how that came about for you to be appointed as director in the U.S. as well, to the Federation?
Yes, so in 2001, actually, I was the first non-Korean to graduate the master's course in Korea. So I've always held a high regard, and I've always been very loyal to the Korea Hapkido Federation. And Jin Jung Kwan in those days was a much more intense, a much more secure, a much more family-oriented organization than what it had started transitioning to in like 2003 and 4. So when Grandmaster Kim's student had left and created his own organization, by default, I kind of had to follow. But when the breakup took place in 2012, my request to Grandmaster Kim was, as vice president, then what I would like to do is return our family back to the KHF, back to the original Hapkido Federation, the one that's recognized worldwide. And then I was blessed and fortunate enough that in a later date, 2015, I think, 2014 actually, I was appointed as the director of the United States to oversee the Korea Hapkido Federation's memberships and standards. So, having said that, now we're working together to try to grow Hapkido as a whole, unite Hapkido all over the world, and I'm extremely blessed and honored to be able to do that.
Great. We've talked a little bit about some facts. We talked about some of the myths that are out there, and we were able to get some of those questions answered for us here today. But let's look forward. We've come through this time period, and we want to look forward. So talk to me about the future of Jin Jung Kwan Hapkido and where it's going moving forward.
Well, actually, that's probably the most exciting part of all of it. Unfortunately, I have to talk about the past to kind of see where we're going in the future, but it's given us some great direction. With Grandmaster Kim's participation, approval, and blessing, there's some really exciting news we're about to make. First of all, the word Jung, as we see it in English, Jung, is actually pronounced Jun. So the very first thing we're doing is adjusting that. As I jokingly say to folks, they didn't have Google Translate in 1967. So Jin Jung Kwan, that's the very first adjustment. But it's really exciting for me to announce what you're going to be unveiling here shortly. We have a brand new logo. It's a very sentimental, very historical, significant logo, and it's absolutely amazing. So what that means is we're going to have an opportunity for people all over the world to join the direct lineage of Grandmaster Kim and myself. And what that means as far as an education standpoint is the high standards that Grandmaster Kim has set in place is where we're catapulting to the next level. So instructors and masters here will now have the ability and requirement to go through firearms education, the intense level of detailed techniques that are required for promotional exams. In the past, there's been some folks in other countries in Europe that have tried to join our organization, and unfortunately, the tied up with that logo was they were being threatened to be sued, or they're going to do this and do that. So to take the high road, to be the better person, recognize that Jin Jung Kwan name belongs to Grandmaster Kim. Just because there's a division does not give somebody a right to steal his name and logo. We still currently have full trademark abilities for the logo in the United States, which we're going to keep that. But we're really excited to announce this next level, this next step, and this next opportunity for us to be able to reach out and accept membership worldwide and take Hapkido Jin Jung Kwan to the next level.
Hey, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much.
Great to see you.